There is commitment across the House to tackling this issue, and a genuine desire to see us get as close as possible to eliminating it altogether. It is something that we will continue to revisit, and we have to keep the pressure on the Home Office to deliver. But yeah, I absolutely recognise that there is commitment from every part of this House to addressing this issue, and I thank the Right Honourable Member once again for bringing it before the House.
For the Opposition, Carolyn Harris.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to serve in your chairmanship, Mr Betts, and it's also a pleasure to speak from the front bench in support of my honourable friend, the member for Chingford and Wood Green, who we have campaigned on many issues together, and I congratulate him on his excellent speech. I want to start by saying that during my time as an MP, I spent many hours working with vulnerable groups, from prostitutes to victims of trafficking, and I've heard some terribly heartbreaking stories of victims of modern slavery who've been exploited, terrorised, trafficked and stripped of their rights. Not 10 miles from here, I have cried with a woman who was forced to sell sex, and her children were used as a weapon against her to prevent her from reporting them. Every nail bar in the country I go into, I check, like Miss Marple, to see if there's any signs of trafficking. And that's not because I am nosy, which I am, but it's more to do with the fact it's so easy today for people to be trafficked and forced into work, which they have no right to be forced into doing. But support and assistance for potential victims of modern slavery does not have statutory underpinning, and this creates several issues, not least leaving vulnerable individuals open to potentially being re-trafficked. That is why it's so vital that the significant support available to these individuals to help them in their devastating situation and to stop them from being re-trafficked. Now, we're all aware of the figures released by the National Crime Agency a couple of weeks ago, which shared the number of potential trafficking and modern slavery victims, which is reported to have risen by 36% a year. A hugely worrying trend from this increase was the alarming number of young people that make up these numbers. Referrals for minors who were potential victims rose by 48% on the previous year records. And this is partly down to children being forced to sell drugs under the county lines phenomenon. EBCAT UK reported that children make up nearly half of all victims of modern slavery in the UK, who were involved in labour exploitation, sex exploitation, domestic servitude and organ harvesting. Central Government funds an annual £9 million contract for the delivery of specialist support in England and Wales for adult victims. This is no way enough to support the adults and the children who are victims of, or potential victims of modern slavery, and the Government must properly resource and fund services to do this. The Human Trafficking Foundation have also worryingly highlighted there are a lack of records of what is happening to these victims once they have left the referral mechanism. The fact that these hugely vulnerable individuals are being lost from the system demonstrates the real danger of them being re-trafficked. It also highlights the worrying lack of support for these victims if they are just able to disappear, which they are. As there are no guarantees for those who seek help, I think it's clear the importance of taking steps to ensure support is guaranteed for potential victims and for confirmed victims of modern slavery. As the National Audit Office has also concluded, currently the Home Office can offer no assurances that victims are not being re-trafficked. What is clear that there needs to be strong coordinated response from all services to tackle modern slavery. And our police forces are at the forefront of this. They referred 2,084 individuals in 2018. But our police forces and other services must be properly resourced. They must have sufficient funding to support victims and to punish perpetrators of these degrading crimes. It's now a matter of urgency that we move forward to commit to do more to support survivors of modern slavery, trafficking and domestic violence, to prevent them from being re-trafficked. We must do more to prevent the most vulnerable in society.